This is my monthly collab with Leanna Dalton for the month of May. Leanna was browsing through the little Ulta catalog for the upcoming sales, and she happened to see stuff that was going to be on sale the 22nd through the 26th. You guys, the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes is going to be on sale. It is normally $54. It is going to be on sale for $32.50. No, it isn't. $32.40. So we decided to use this palette to do an eye look. I am taking it one step further, and I am going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team palette on my face. If this sounds like fun to you, then stick around. Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome or welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. So as I said in the intro, we are using the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes palette. I only got this recently. It's been out for quite a while. I only got this recently at the end of last year or the beginning of this year. I can't quite remember, but I got it on Poshmark for like $19. It was brand new. It had never been touched. So a little bit about this palette. It has 8 mattes and 8 shimmers. I like the way this palette is laid out. I like that the matte shades are larger pans than the shimmer shades. I also like that it goes from light to dark. This type of palette is the kind of palette that I like to do a complete look. It has light shades, it has mid-tone shades, and it has deep shades. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As always, I'm going to start with my eyeshadow primer. I am using the Ulta Beauty Matte Veil. Love this. It is such a great primer. I like to apply this with a brush, and I have an angled brush right here. And I stipple it on, and then I will blend it in. And I like to use the angled brush because I like how it gets down in the corner. I have an issue with my eyeshadow not staying in the inner corner of my eye. This primer really does give a nice matte base. It is tinted enough that it covers any imperfections that I might have on my lids, whether it be veins or discolorations of any type. I'm going to start off with a Moda brush. This is a flat brush, but it has some floof to it. And I'm going to go into the shade Petal. And I'm going to be putting that on the outer part of my lid. I believe that I use this shade every time I use this palette, which last month was quite a lot. I do switch out my palettes quarterly per the season, and I always have several neutral palettes, but this is one of my favorites. Too Faced has never really done much for me. I don't know what it is. They're just not a brand that I gravitate toward, so I really hadn't given this palette much thought. You might have heard me talk about this before, but when Leanna came to visit me in December, we were in Sephora. We were in a couple of different Sephoras, but they had this palette on display. And Leanna was surprised that I didn't own it because it is definitely my color story. I'm going to go in with this Real Techniques brush into the lightest shade and put that in the front part of my lid. So when I looked at it and actually swatched it, I thought it was a beautiful palette. Was surprised that I had never really given it much thought. Not really a second glance. But I knew I wasn't going to pay $54 for it. I decided to look it up on Poshmark when I was on there looking for something completely different. And there it was. Many different price points. But I saw one for $19 and I'm like, sold. That's the one I'm getting. I'm going to take that same shade. I'm going to blend out that top a little bit, so it's nice and blended and we don't have any harsh lines. I'm going to take this little Wet n Wild brush. These are some of my favorites. I was at a Dollar Tree the other day. All of these that I've gotten at the Dollar Tree. $1, $1.25 when they changed the price. But they didn't have any at the Dollar Tree that I was at the other day. I was kind of disappointed because I was going to get like 5 of them. Now I'm going to go into that Warm Rose shade, and I'm going to take that, probably the outer half of my lid, and just keep blending. Blend that in. I basically used the Petal shade to just set that eye primer. I don't have to set that eye primer, but sometimes I like to. I'm just going to keep blending and blending and blending until I'm happy with where it is. Go back into that lightest shade called Swan and blend out that top a little bit. And I do really love how blendable these mattes are. I'm going to into that darkest shade called Truffle. I'm just using a doe color brush with a very small floofy tip on it. And I'm just going in this outer corner, but I'm going to continue to blend it. I'm not going up too high, just staying in that outer corner. Because I gravitate toward monochromatic palettes as a whole, I tend to do this type of technique every single time I do my eyeshadow. It does look different with different looks because I use different shades, but overall, it's just such an easy way to get a nice gradient on your eye. You have a deeper outer corner and it goes from dark to light, and that's how I like to do my makeup. I'm going to go back in that warm rose and I'm going to blend this outer corner into the middle. And I'll probably be doing that technique for a while, and then I'll find something new that I want to try, and then I'll do that. You're not going to know if it works for you if you don't try it. We're going to clean up these edges a little bit because I tend to be a little feral. Let me know in the comments below, do you do your eyes first or do you do your face first? I was always a person that did my face first. I always did my face makeup because I was very precise with my eyeshadow, and once I realized that I didn't have to be as precise and it was going to come out the same way, whether I did it that way or did it the way that I do it now, I could do my face makeup after. Everything will come together, but you don't have to be so precise and not, but be afraid that you're going to get it on your base makeup and you're going to have to clean it up and then you're going to have to redo your base makeup and all of that. This way, I just go to town and then I can clean it up later. It makes me happy. It really does make me happy. Let's go in with some shimmers. I think I'm going to use a couple of different shimmers, maybe three. So I'm going to go into the Sparkling Rose shade. Ooh, first, we're going to do some glitter primer. I'm going to do the NYX glitter primer, which this is almost empty. I do have a backup waiting in the wings, but I do really want to get all of the product that I can out of this tube. And we're just going to pat that just a little bit, and then I'm just going to pat it on my lids. Make sure I get that inner corner so that when we do our inner corner highlight, that it stays. Tell me if you use glitter primer. I don't do glitter eyeshadows, but I do think that the glitter primer helps these shimmers stick. It keeps it from falling out on your face. Also, I think it makes it a little bit more, it gives it a little bit more punch. So I'm going into the Sparkling Rum shade, and I'm going to put that just on the outer half of my mobile lid because it is the darkest rosy shade in the palette. Look at me putting shimmers on with my fingers. If you've been with me any length of time, you know that I was not a finger shimmer girl. I like using a brush because I'm more precise. But I do think that some shimmers, most shimmers, are a little bit more impactful when you use your finger. As much as I hate to admit that, it's true. Not all shimmers. There are some shimmers that are just fine with a brush. Now I'm going into the rose gold, and I'm going to put that on the center of my lid and kind of blend those two together. And now I'm going into the shimmering pearl shade, and I'm going to put that in the front part of my lid. Not my inner corner, just the front part of my lid. I may end up using this as my inner corner shade, or I may use, there's one shade that's one step lighter that I might use as my inner corner shade once my face makeup is done. And that is such a pretty gradient. I'm going to go back into that rose gold, and I'm going to kind of blend those two together a little bit. Are these the most impactful shimmers that I have in my collection? No, absolutely they are not, but they are very pretty. And I have room in my collection for just pretty shimmers. Love this palette. I cannot say enough good things about this palette. I am so happy that Leanna and I ventured into that certain Sephora, and I am so happy that she pointed out this palette to me, because without that, I would have never bought it, ever. So we're going to put that to the side for now, and I'm going to do my face makeup. Normally when I cut back in, my hair is done, my face is done, eyes are done, everything's done, lips, but I'm not done with my face yet, obviously. I wanted to show you something else that's on sale the 22nd through the 26th, and that is Physicians Formula. Physicians Formula is one of my favorite drugstore brands. I think their products are amazing, especially their powder products. I'm not sure I've ever tried any of their cream products, but their powder products are amazing. Their butter bronzer, which you can buy singly. Everything in this palette you can buy separately. If you don't want everything, you can buy it separately. But I just happen to have this bronzer, this blush, and this powder all in my cart separately, and then saw that this was on sale back in March. And this was $13.99 at the time. Everything else was on sale for like $6 each. So I actually am saving money by buying it this way. If there's only a couple things in here, you probably would save money by just buying them individually. So I'm going to finish my face with this palette. I am going to start off with the Butter Bronzer, favorite bronzer. It is a little warmer than what I normally gravitate toward, but it's such a beautiful shade, and especially for summer, I love it. I just finished a mini, like a deluxe sample of this, and I knew that I didn't want to not have it in my collection. So that is the bronzer, and now I'm going in with the Muru Muru Butter Blush, this right here. I'm going to go in with that. These are slightly glowy, so if you don't like a glowy blush, you might want to go something like this, because that is more of a matte blush. I like a glowy blush. And now I'm going to go in with a big floofy face brush, and I'm going to go into this powder right here, and I'm going to be using that as my finishing powder and buffing everything together. I do think that Physicians Formula is one of the higher priced brands at the drugstore. So when it goes on sale is when I buy it. There's not a whole lot that I buy full price, drugstore or high end. I do love using this as my finishing powder. I also have this, and I bought this at the same time that I bought this palette. And this is the Mineral Airbrushing Pressed Powder. And it gives a beautiful finish as well, but it does not show my texture. So these two products, highly recommend. Everything that I used on my face, whether it was on camera or not, will be in the description box below. I will have links to these things. They are affiliate links, just to be transparent. But this is a really great time to pick up these products. So now that the face is done, let's get back to the eyes. I do like to do my face makeup before I do anything underneath the eye or do my mascara or liners or whatever. I am going to take a flat brush. I don't really know what brand this is. I think I probably got it in an Ipsy bag or something. I'm going to go into that truffle shade that I used on my outer corner. I'm going to dab some of it off because we just want a little bit. And I'm going to go underneath the eye, just around the outer corner. And then I'm going to take a small fluffy brush and I'm going to just kind of blow that out a little bit, because I don't want it so intense. I think it gives a little bit of drama. Love it. Love that. Now I'm going to take the shade Glistening Snow. I am using a fluffier brush because I don't want it to be very, very impactful. I just want a little bit of a glow there. I feel that if I use a denser brush, that sometimes it's a little too much in my inner corner, and it doesn't look, it looks a little bit thick, a little bit crusty, and I don't like that. So I just do a fluffier brush, or as I like to say, a floofier brush. I'm going to clean this brush off, and I'm going to go into the shade Seashell, and I'm going to put that underneath the front part of my eye. So now that is all blended. Now I'm going to hit up some liners. I'm going to go in and tight line with the Sephora 24-hour color liner in the shade Sangria. The best time to pick up these liners is when the Sephora collection is 30% off during the VIB sale. I'm going to go into my waterline with the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in the shade Rose Gold. I'll be back. If you don't want to spend the money on a Laura Mercier Caviar Stick, I got mine as a gift. But if you didn't want to spend the money on that, the NYX Jumbo pencils, this is in the shade Frosting. They are so similar. Really, there's not much difference in the two. I'm going to swatch them for you. There they are. That is the Frosting, and that is the Caviar Stick. They're very, very similar. That was my color corrector. Before I do my mascara, I'm going in with my brow gel. This is the LA Girl Brow Perfect. It is a clear brow gel. I think it's more of a wax than a gel, personally. I think it feels more like a wax, but I do really like it. I like to let that dry down for a little bit. I'm going to go with my mascara, Maybelline Lash Stiletto, Holy Grail. Love it. It's my fave. One coat. It's amazing. I love it. I will always repurchase this. And when Ulta has them buy two, get one free, I get 3 of them. And we're just going to stop with 2 coats. Usually I will go in with a more volumizing mascara, but this is a very neutral look. So I'm just going to stick with the 2 coats of this. And I think that that is perfectly fine. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to do lips, hair, brows. We'll be back. We'll discuss. We'll wrap things up. Don't go anywhere. We are back. Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes Palette. Beautiful, soft, romantic, neutral color story. Beautiful formula. Very blendable. The shimmers are very pretty. Like I said, not the most impactful shimmers. But as you can see, they're beautiful shimmers. I'm okay with basic shimmers. There is room in my collection for basic shimmers. Would I pay $54 for this? No. No, I would not. But I would pay $32.40 for it. I definitely would. There's not a whole lot I would pay $54 for, honestly. There's not a whole lot of palettes I would pay that much for. This for $32.40 all day long. Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team Palette, 25% off. The entire Physicians Formula brand will be 25% off. If there's something you've been wanting to try from them, this is a great time to do it. As I said, all of the products that I used on my face will be in the description box below. Thank you, Leanna, for doing your homework and looking at the ad and seeing what's going to be on sale. Perfect time to use this, perfect time to pick it up. Also, thank you to Leanna for another fun collab. We missed last month. We're back this month. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have this palette, if you have the Physicians Formula palette or anything from Physicians Formula. Tell me what you think of them. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.